Liquid Clem going up against Jack Frost. Jack Frost, I love it. The fire bat. Okay, so this is Reynor versus Clem. Best of 5. Let's see. Top left, we have Clem. Bottom right, we have Reynor. And, yeah. This is like, this is going to be good. You know, these two have just such a history playing against each other in the EU tournaments. And here they are in the NA tournament, beating all the Korean players to get here. How silly. How silly. All right. Yeah, not sure what we're going to see as openers from these guys. Honestly. I imagine pretty standard play overall from Reynor. I feel like I'd be surprised if he gets cheesy. It's not as much his style. I really like Reynor's overall CVT. When he plays like a serious CVT, it's really a lot of fun. Really hard to keep track of everything he's doing, but Clem is one of the guys who really can do that. Yeah, for anyone just tuning in, this is the ESL North America Open Cup number 209, I believe. And yeah, it's a great finals here. We have Liquid Clem from Texas and Reynor from Florida going at it. See which is the greatest, freest state in America. And it is a $400 prize pool in this tournament as well. All right, so Reaper expansion, very, very normal. Reynor just getting his natural up. A couple queens on the way. I mean, this is all such normal stuff that I will take this opportunity to suggest you guys use the command StarCraft 2. Follow that YouTube channel. We have a lot of StarCraft 2 casts up there already, but also it's going to have casts of other games as well that you might be interested in, such as Stormgate. Okay, so factory coming up here for Clem. Forces the extractor there, but there was a second drone that came out, went to the other third base, and go ahead and took it. Like this drone, this is some pretty nice harassment. What he's trying to do is it'll have to cancel and come off, and then he wants to just block it to get back on. Doesn't quite get it. See the XD there as he saves it. Clem with the question mark. Dude, if someone XDs you and then you question mark them in a game like this, that's hardcore from Clem. I'm serious. This is not a joke. That's hardcore from Clem. You're supposed to XD back. Okay, that's like if you're going to be kind to each other, you XD back. The question mark is slightly aggressive. The question mark is you saying you think you're better. I'm actually not joking. For anyone who's actually been very good at games like this, it's like this is actually a way people type. So I love to see that Clem does the question mark. And of course, they're friends and everything. So it's not like anything negative, but it's kind of a fun. That's showing a lot of confidence there for Clem. Probably the most impactful thing in this game so far, because we already know that initial Reaper harassment is not impactful. An Artosis it is. No, shut up. Now, the Queen's going to try to push this back a little bit. We have right now the Command Center additional one finishing up. Banshee, Hellion on the way. A Roach Warren here for Reynor. Normally think more of him as a Ling guy, but 7 Roaches coming up. All right, Hellion's going to come in and zap that creep tumor, I think. Oh, really? Oh, okay, yeah. I was going to say, I'd be really surprised if he didn't get that. The Roach is coming out now, and he does see those Roaches, so he can kind of sit back a little bit more defensively if the Roaches try to come across. Banshee's obviously going to be a very strong counter to any Roach attacks, but it seems like the Roaches are just sitting in a defensive manner here as we have Reynor go up towards the lair. Cloak's still on the way for these Banshees. We're going to see if the Banshees as Cloak finishes can get some real damage. One Spore at least being started. Good job pushing back the Hellions there with the Roaches. Kind of excited to see what the idea is here, because we don't have any Evolution Chambers yet. We don't have a Baneling Nest started yet. Could this be like a Spire? It doesn't look like a Spire build, but again, with no Evolution Chambers and no Baneling Nest. Okay, there's 2 Evolution Chambers. Let's see. I'm really interested in what this is going to be from Reynor. It looks a little bit weird. Double Overseer. Okay. Wants to deal with those Cloaked Banshees as well as he can. Lair is done. He hasn't done anything with it. Let's see. Melee and Carapace, I would guess. Still nothing. Okay, yeah, he's just throwing down these additional Evos to block those Hellions coming in. Very quick reaction speed there. Dude, so he's had the Lair for a bit, and he's only utilizing it right now for Overseers. There's Zergling speed finally. And still no Carapace in Melee. There's Carapace. I'm surprised. Like, again, it feels... I guess he's been very minimal as far as gas mining goes, but still. +1/1 here for Zerglings. Also getting the Roach speed, not a big surprise since he already has 7 Roaches. But you can see Clem is going to have a reasonable window here where he's up in those upgrades. Second factory coming up for Clem. We'll see if he stays on those siege tank productions or if he's going to switch into the mines. Infestation Pit, as well as a couple of expansions coming up. Creep spread looking reasonable. Not fantastic, but reasonable. Marines coming up here from Clem now. Getting that armory as well so he can get 2-2 started. 1-1 combat shields is going to be a pretty strong timing here. Can't really do anything with this. I mean, it'll pick off a little bit here and there. But obviously, you know, these guys know exactly what they have to have. The 1 Spore and a Roach coming over, or a couple Spores. Kind of zoning those dropships back out. Now, one thing I do want to mention, right? When you see Spores in the main base, it's not that Spores are bad against drops, okay? But normally when you see Spores in the base, Zerg gets overconfident on drops not coming in there. So if you bomb in there a little bit later, a lot of times you can do a ton of damage. Just keep that in mind, because I think we will see that out of Clem eventually. Because, like, let's say you bomb in a little bit later with, like, 4 Medivacs. There's no real defense up there. It's like Zergs oftentimes make the Spores in this earlier portion and defend it a little bit and then stop thinking about it. And when you stop thinking about something in StarCraft, that's when stuff goes wrong. So anyways, we have Baneling speed on the way. The Hive is about 3/4 away done. Drilling Claws coming up here for Clem, making 3 mines at a time. Really macroing heavily. Not a lot of damage dealt on either side. Some of these creep tumors being taken out pretty quickly. Little push coming out here from... Well, I say little push, but I mean, they have a lot of supply right now. And this push coming up. That is, I mean, it's pretty scary. He's getting a good siege position. We do have Baneling speed. It is 1-1 against 1-1. He's got these Ravagers as well. I think he'll be able to just push right through this. Now, the mine goes off there, kind of protecting the tank, but also dealing additional damage. Baneling's going to push this back as well, and Clem will pick up. The supplies pretty much equalized after this. But I do like that defense for Reynor. He keeps his 5 bases up and running. There is a 4th command center landed now for Clem, so he will get some SCVs over there, no doubt. But still pretty good creep spread. Clem coming in for another attack on the other side towards his 5th base. Couple of Vipers on the way right now. 2-2 on both sides, a little bit closer than what we saw in the 1-1. Still Clem trying to fight on both sides nicely. We'll end up picking up there. And it seems like Reynor has just enough everywhere. Just enough. Like, Clem is trying to win some of these battles, and it's mostly equal trades right now. But Reynor has like a very healthy drone count. You know, the 5 bases, 90-ish drones is really fantastic. He's keeping his cost efficiency within a reasonable level of Clem's. Has a nice little group of Ravagers still walking around. I absolutely love the timing of this Ultralisk Cavern as well. Adrenal Glands going to be finishing up alongside 2-2 for the Zerglings. Lots of Ling Bane being made right now. And of course, those Vipers being out is nice as well. Definitely want to see some Parasitic Bombs. Definitely want to see him starting to reduce that medevac count a little bit. All right, the mines becoming a bit of a problem. He is starting to get some damage done there. Looks like these Marines they've lost their medevacs. Unfortunately, they did fly forward there. And that hatchery has taken some reasonable damage. He's got to be careful about that. You don't want to end up losing it. Parasitic Bombs starting to fly out. Has about 4 Vipers there. First few Ultras coming as well. Chitinous Plating on the way. Now, this is the nice thing. Like, his creep spread is still reasonable. I want to see him respread some of this if it's possible. You know, Reynor is one of the fastest players in the world, so I think he'll be able to get it done. But when you have that creep spread and your Ultras start popping with your well-upgraded Ling Bane, like, that is a defensive force on creep like none other. That will clear that incoming Terran army hard. So 3-3 started on both sides, +3 attack, a lot quicker here for Clem. Getting concussive, getting those armors as well for his vehicles and ships. Look at this, the mass Parasitic Bombs starting to go down. A great way to play this type of strategy, reducing those medevacs. And look at that, he went for the bomb in, but there were Lings there. That was that moment I was waiting for, but it feels like, oh man, I actually have some chills right now. The fact that Reynor had the reaction for that already. He had the Lings up in the main base for that drop, because that is the exact drop that punishes a lot of Zergs at this stage of the game. So Clem unable to get that up. The Lings very quickly going to transfer down to here to block this as well. And I mean, is medevac slow enough? I don't think you're going to try to bomb into that main base again with this. Ultra Ravager Roach here, just kind of roaming up on the very edge of creep. This is trying to slow things. I don't think he's going to take a real engage here. Dude, this is a very, very good game from both sides. You know, we're watching a lot of Reynor because it's kind of like most of the action is him defending things that Clem is doing to him. But we have to mention, Clem has taken a 5th base in this time, right? Fusion Core. He's adding another starport. He's getting his ghosts out. He's continuing his upgrades. He has 3-2 with +3 armor coming up very quickly. Like, he is doing magnificently as well. Very, very hard to do these things. Now, up comes this attack. This could be a bit painful. There are some Vikings here to punish the Vipers, which is fantastic. But some Parasitic Bombs will go down here. Not sure exactly how many of the medevacs he's going to get. Looks like about 3 medevacs left over. And, of course, all these Vikings still doing a really good job as well. I think those Vikings were a super clutch add. If you still have 4 Vipers here, you're feeling really fantastic as Reynor. So a great pick off there by Clem. And Clem's micro here will reduce that ultra count. The Roach Ravager going to kind of have to back out. You know, those aren't really continuing to scale all that well at this point. Still, Bile's going to be useful, so I don't think there's a reason to sacrifice. Honestly, I'd like to see him either lose the Roaches or evolve them into more Ravagers. Ultras on the way, +3 melee attack about to finish. An Infestor being added in as well. $40 Banes on the way here. We have that medevac upgrade that I'll never learn the name of. That's coming up as well. Gonna go ahead and clear some mines. Coming in, this is a big Baneling-based attack. No real anti-air here, by the way. The Vikings definitely could just turn around and deal with these Overseers, but that is not of the greatest concern. The greatest concern is trying to deal with all these Banes. Reynor just explodes the base while sending Banes up the ramp to zone everything else out. Looks like we have a little bit of a Widow Mine drop coming across the map right now as well. Looks like that's sneaking in around the 3rd-ish base or 4th-ish base of Reynor. But look, Reynor's Ultralisk attack is just doing too much. It's clearing so quickly. Kills off that planetary as well. Already 2 bases have fallen. Clem absolutely going to be losing this game. Yeah, Clem microing the last remnants of his army. And the thing is, like, maybe he can hold this attack, but Reynor's got so much at home, it really doesn't matter. You can remake all this very, very, very easily. Liberators themselves not quite able to clear these ultras before they get through. Clem's still microing his best, and he's going to GG there. There you have it. Game number 1 going to go to Reynor. Amazingly played game. Super, super, super good game. Love what I'm seeing here. Thank you, everyone, for dropping by. Hope you're enjoying this best of 5 between Clem and Reynor in the final of the NA ESL Open Cup, number 209. It's been a sick tournament. Our round of 8 was probably the best round of 8 I've seen in one of these cups. I've been casting them for quite some time now. What have I been casting these for? Like a year? I think so, actually. I think so. But yeah, hope you guys are enjoying. I'm going to continue to cast these every single week with Mapu observing. Big thanks to Mapu. You can use the command Mapu in the chat to follow him. And I do ask that you follow the channel. Follow my Twitch channel. We do this every week. And it's a lot of fun. You think the question mark motivated him? Absolutely. The most important part of the game. He pissed Reynor off. Reynor was looking for an XD back. Artie has a good, strong caster voice. Nice and deep. A perfect dusting of nasal makes it distinguished but friendly. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Donos are paused for now. At the end of the finals, I will play them. Yeah, anyways, let's go. We're getting into the next game. It's normal water, yes. Solaris. Gonna be map number 2. In the bottom left, we have Clem. And in the top left, top right, we have Reynor. So great game number 1. Really superb defense from Reynor. Great transition into those ultras. Great attacks going on. Loved the Vipers cleaning up some of the medevacs. I think there were some really key moments where he blocked really important attacks, like on the 5th base and the drop into the main that I was kind of waiting for a long time. Really well done. And now we wait to see what openers that they are going to want to go for. Barracks coming up for Clem. And over on Reynor's side, of course, the hatchery first, as you would expect to see. So, while we kind of wait for this to get going, I would like to encourage you guys to use the command StarCraft 2 in the chat. That's going to give you a link to Artosis Cast 2. You can see that kind of shown on the screen. That is my new casting channel. That is for StarCraft 2, Stormgate, Zero Space, all those other RTSs that I'm going to cast. I do have a StarCraft 1 casting channel as well, where I release at least one pro game casted by me every single day. That's Artosis Casts. And of course, this one, Artosis Casts 2. So please check them out. Give them a follow. And of course, use the command Mapu. Check out his channels as well. All right. So. Well, nothing yet. I mean, it's a Reaper expand. We'll see. I imagine he'll go factory after this. We'll see if he goes like Reactor Hellion once again. Very, very standard, strong stuff. It felt like he had a fine opener in the previous game. Felt like he was playing pretty well. There's the factory. We'll see if he adds that second gas or not. Maybe he wants to go third command once again. Drone ready at that third base. We do have the slight harassment here. Bit annoying to deal with, but Reynor's dealt with it countless times. His queen almost out to help. Woo! Wow. Loses the Reaper. What a moment. You're not supposed to lose that Reaper. He went too hard. And I gotta just take a moment and mention that if you kill that second Ling, it doesn't actually affect Zerg. It will not affect the outcome of the game. But if you lose the Reaper, that could affect the outcome of the game. You may not get an important scout of things that are incoming. So absolutely Clem overplaying there. We can see in this particular case, it's not going to cost him, but know the Reaper pressure for what it is. It is a strange dance that we go through for probably cultural reasons. No real damage is dealt. So, Hellions zipping around a little bit. There is a Viking on the way to help clear some of these overlords off. Always enjoy that move. Not sure if we're going to end up seeing Banshee play here or even possibly a Raven. He does get that third command center finished, and we'll get the orbital going there as well. Ah, a Liberator follow-up. Okay, that's kind of cool. So he's going to fly around with the Viking a bit, clear these overlords. We used to call this, in the very old days, the Pult Viking, because he was like the guy that always got a Viking out to push around overlords and punish that and make the map a dark and scary place for Zerg. It was a pretty common strategy back in Brood War to get a Wraith to do that during certain periods of old StarCraft 1. But yeah, you don't see it that often in StarCraft 1 nor in StarCraft 2 anymore, but still kind of fun to see. And of course, by pushing those overlords around, he might be able to slip in that Liberator for some damage. Yeah, for those of you wondering, Pult nowadays, he does not play, but he is, I believe, the manager for SK Telecom T1 nowadays. You know, they have like a really big League of Legends team. They do some other esports stuff as well. But I believe he's actually the manager over there, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so the Hellion squad still roaming about, but seems like we have really well-placed queens here in 2 groups of 4 there by Reynor. In comes that Liberator. I believe it's so far undetected. It does get into a position here and, well, not going to be able to get anything done. Quite a bit of damage put down from those 2 queens, and of course a Spore will force it to back up. Comes back to this Viking as well. Trying to set up a decent position. I don't see one there for him between Spore and Queen. And might just fly those around and figure out something else to do with them a little bit later on here. Hard to get him to move those Spores at all. Ah, the Overlord's kind of being overextended up to the top there, so the Viking going to get a bit of damage. Quick little run in here with those Hellions. Goes ahead, kills a couple of drones. And, okay, that was kind of weird. I think Clem must have been doing something else at the time. Just lets his Viking kind of die there. Second factory is on the way. 1-1. Pretty well timed out for both sides, by the way. See, this is more kind of what I expected from Reynor previously, but, yeah, obviously it is a very, very different opener. We don't really see the roaches or anything like that. But he is getting his upgrades with really good time. Lair is about to finish. Baneling Nest as well, so he's going to want to go ahead and get that Baneling speed upgrade. And there's the Hydra Den. I was just going to talk about that because it looks like a Hydra opener here. And the way that you can tell that it's going to be Lingbane Hydra as opposed to like just a pure Zergling play is generally just going to be based off of a macro hatchery. Like you would need, if you wanted to go only Lingbane here, you're going to need an additional hatchery a little bit quicker, or you're just not going to get the numbers that you need to defend. And honestly, against Clem, I don't even know if you really want to play the only Lingbane style, even though I think it is a pretty good style. Now, with the Hydras being added in, it's going to make you a defensive menace. It's very hard to attack across the map with the Hydras, even with their newer buff. And also, Clem has the second factory already. We see he's making mines at the moment, but if he catches wind of this being Hydra, like Lingbane Hydra, he may switch into mass siege tanks and try to hit like a maxed like 2-2 timing push with a bunch of tanks. For quite a while, that was the standard against Lingbane Hydra. Well, he brings up his now transformed Hellbats to tank some of these hits, to block everything from closing in on his Marines and Medics. He's got a very good spread there. Trying to deal with some of these spores. I like this defensive setup. I like the double spine as well. Kind of cool. But yeah, it looks like Reynor going to be able to clear that. These Marines actually doing a great job against the Queens. Maybe a little bit over of a misstep here from Reynor. Brings his Lings up finally, but does lose quite a few of... Ooh. That must have been a mind drag. My eyes deceived me on what was going on there. I was looking at the wrong spot. Anyways, the Marines continuing to hit. Clem with his multitasking just completely on fire, but honestly, his medevacs are as well. More mines are being produced. It is going to be very mine-based. You can go Marine, Marauder, Medevac, Mine, the 4Ms against Lingbane Hydra. It's a hard thing to do. And I don't know if that's going to be the plan or not. Right now, he's just on Marine Mine. You do eventually want to put some Marauders in there for tanking purposes, for blocking purposes. Keep them kind of out in the front as you kite back. And yeah, he is starting to produce a little bit of Marauders at least. Now continue to keep this pressure on. This is a new 5 base in the bottom right here for Reynor. We don't have the drones there yet, but it is an important location for him. The creep is being thinned out in that side. Also, there's no good creep on the left-hand side of that topmost base from Reynor, right? So there's a couple of reasonable attack paths that Clem is set up at this point. Ooh, that mine. It does get a Hydra. Okay, so he's chasing this all the way back home. I think he is going to turn around there. Yeah, you don't want to go up that ramp. But here is the problem, right? Like, Clem was clearing a lot of creep in the bottom right, and then over here you don't have creep as well. So this is actually a very hard defense here. He's got just a smaller group of Lingbane. Ooh, gets a little bit of a connection there for a moment. And he had actually a flanking army coming up. Okay, this is gonna slam it. Yeah, look at that. Kills a ton right there with those Hydras coming up. I don't think Clem expected them to come from that angle. They had to go off creep to get there as well, so not as normal. Now he is dropping in that main base, but maybe a little bit slow with it. Just going to use that as a spot to heal and then back up. And look at that targeting from Clem. Holy shit. The Banes die so quickly there. Now the Hydras just barely can push this back. Clem reinforcing with those units that he just healed up in the main base of Reynor. Little boosted medevac through that acceleration zone as well. Dropping mines out here. Pretty good splitting, actually. Good blocking there. We have a pretty big engage as Reynor takes a million Lings here to try to surround, and in fact will force that army all the way back. Okay, so I feel like right now it's pretty crucial to increase creep in that area. Right? Because it seems like that's mostly where Clem's trying to attack. Obviously, the Hydra's off creep can have a, well, I mean, they are a bit faster nowadays, but you always want to kind of try to defend everything with creep as well. 5 Vipers on the way. Lurker upgrades coming as well. Are we going to get into a more turtled lurker-based position here? If we do, if we start getting a bunch of lurkers spread around, obviously there are still ways to stim and spread, to multitask, to hit different locations, find where the lurkers might be light for Clem, but he may need to switch into some other units here as well, right? Okay, we do see some ghosts being added, but still right now just playing the Marine Marauder Mine. And he's doing a reasonable job with it. Like, he's definitely whittling a lot of things down, but as those Banelings come up, he does have to turn around, back up. And here's that attack once again. No creep on that left-hand side. Really being a pain here for Reynor. Ooh. Absolutely insane mind drag there. We also have the medevac starting to get reduced as well, but a bigger attack at the bottom part of the map here by Clem. Gets in on top of the creep. Kills off a lot of queens there as well. Reynor going to be able to push that back. The mines all go off. He will end up clearing those mines as well. Wild game right now. 92 drones against 74 SCVs. Clem has done so much on his own side of the map during all this, by the way. We do need to point towards that, right? Another good parasitic bomb going down here on these medevacs. Always smart to reduce those numbers. You know, that's really one of the ways you're gaining value throughout the game is medevacs, being these long-term units you continually reutilize, you continually heal up with. So killing those off, always a great goal. All right, a decent spread of lurkers up there. So he's using more of like a kind of a static defense. But of course, a small amount of those lurkers, and Clem going to chunk through those very, very, very quickly. Reynor, I'm not sure what he's trying to accomplish right there. I think this is purely for zoning because he's well in front of both bases. If he moves to the left or the right of that kind of a doodad thing behind him, then Clem gets to decide where to attack. Whereas if he holds this more forward position, he's blocking both the bases from being attacked. But as you can see, his engages are a little bit rough. So it seems like I feel like I get it, what and why he's doing, but it feels like this will be cost inefficient throughout. Clem, you can see here, throwing down EMP, kiting back really, really well. Oh, the mine drags are insane by the Overseers. Literally, the Overseers dealing more damage to this army than the rest of Reynor's army there. Just crazy mine drags. Crazy mine drags. Love to see it from Reynor. He does get supply block during that, but not going to be a problem. He's going to pop a bunch more Overlords. Get that supply back up. Clem's random mines all over the place. Always a smart thing to do in these later portions of the game. Really hard for Zerg to continually clean those up. Very, very cheap for Terran to use, especially considering Terran always has extra gas. Have you ever seen a Terran with more minerals than gas? Well, if you have, it's in Bronze League. All right, so a big attack coming in here from Reynor. Clem microing back through that Excel zone, but the Ling's hot on his tail. Some EMPs going down. And look at this. That is a lot of Lingbane Hydra, but more and more army here from Clem continues to meet up, pulling most of the ghosts back there as well, but there's still Banelings in here. Honestly, it feels like we need to see some other defense in here, whether it's like some tanks or it's just, it's so hard as he pulls back. It's like he's losing these smaller groups of bio units. His mines are doing a reasonable job, but there's just so much from Reynor coming in. Now, he does pull back here to the planetary, but honestly, I think the planetary is going to fall as well. Lings surrounding it instantly. The Banelings rolling through, just targets that down. And he'll pull back now as his army starts to get smaller. In the meantime, though, Clem has taken that top left base. So still doing a good job as far as the amount of bases taken. Down only one base after losing that. 9 more lurkers on the way. Interested to see what he wants to do with these lurkers, actually. Like, is he going to try to do a zoning defense? Is he going to just hold a certain area with these lurkers? Is he going to be, like, trying to attack with them? Lurkers generally not the greatest for attacks. They can be used, but, you know. All right, looks like he's trying to bring these in more for maybe harassment than anything else. But already a stim and spread there. Oh, God! Runs out of detection there, and the lurkers actually will come out on top. Oops. Gonna go ahead and clear this up finally. All right, a bunch of Lings running in now. Mine's doing a reasonable job, but honestly hitting mostly just the lead Lings. So the main group going to be able to attack this base, and Reynor is looking like he's probably gonna go up 2-0 in this series. Oh, the Baneling landmine. I did not even see that there. Beautiful setup from Reynor. kills off that factory as well. As a group of lurkers over here sieging into this planetary. Oh, a good mine hit there. The thing is, Reynor, like, he's got a lot going on, right? He's up here at 82 drones. He's running around finding different ways to deal some damage. You know, these bases, it's getting harder and harder for Clem to hold on to everything that he's got. He's still got good mining bases. If he can maintain these bases and maintain this army, you know, he can stay near max supply, continually mine, you know, replenish the smaller amounts of units he's losing, and maybe come back against a Reynor who hasn't really moved in tech in a long time. But right now, again, it does feel like Reynor is breaking through. A lot of Hydras coming over here. Liberators being added in. So that is definitely one unit set that you can switch into a little bit, right? Between mines and Liberators and all that. Look at this. He walks up. Oof. Does pick off those Liberators. More coming in. Marines, Marauders, Ghosts, Mines, all coming up to help fight against this as well. Burrows a lot of mines there. Some of the drags into the Bioforce. Really some superb play cleaning that all up by Clem. You know, I think most Zerg players in the world, most Terran players in the world would have ended up dying there, Reynor. He was very, very close. He was attacking multiple bases at once. He was getting towards the rally points. But Clem, he stabilizes and starts a counter push right now. Suddenly, Reynor much lower in supply. You know, the style that Reynor's been playing here, it's not really a like supreme late game army that much, right? It's like he's still attacking with Lingbane, Hydra. He does have a few Vipers mixed in. He does have Lurkers running around trying to do some fancy stuff. But this is not like an end game tier 3 composition realistically, right? So Clem now starting to get a lot of this value that he needed with his army. This push kind of crazy. Ooh, misses targeting down that Liberate. A little bit of a miss micro there from Reynor, I'd say. Lurkers burrowing. Also make sure he's staying out of range of these Liberators, getting some great abducts down there as well. More units rallying up here from Clem. The Hydra Lurker pushing forward. Good chunk of Lurkers there. That's going to be a little bit hard to attack into, but Clem with a lot of units scans. He's taking quite a bit of damage there as well. The Hydras, are they winning the battle on the left? No, it looks like they're just barely going to lose over there. And the Lurkers do get eliminated. A few Ghosts left over. This one Liberator completely denying that base down to the south. Don't forget, these two middle bases, if Reynor was to get both of them, we're going to have to get way more cost efficiency from Clem to win this game, right? Those bases theoretically should go one to each side. Look at this. Mules being dropped as this little attack comes in. Moving around the Liberator, continuing to kill off larva. Both these guys almost flexing the ridiculous speed that they both play at. Liberator being picked off before it can really do anything. A couple spines up here. Not that spines are going to do that much against all this 3-3 bio. Maybe slow it down a little bit, tank a little bit here, and allow a little bit more micro from Reynor. Abducts a Ghost in. Ah, he does get it. Burrows those Lurkers. Does he have enough here to kill this off? Looks like that spread is going to be strong. A few Marines attacking that bottom middle base. And Reynor does end up holding the position. Now, it looks like he might lose this one down to the south. You can notice now his creep spread is pushed way back. As far as mining bases go, it looks to me like Reynor has 3 mining bases and Clem has 2 mining bases, right? Maybe a few stray mineral patches here and there. Now, with Reynor mining that one, that gives him an additional, right? So it's like bottom right, top mid, mid right, and like that bottom base, which was almost dead, but now he's got units over there now, or drones over there now. So another big attack comes in from Clem. It is important for him to reduce one of these bases. He can't let that big of an economy be in this game right now. Reynor's supply dropping dramatically. His drones trying to drag some mines up here as well. They can't do anything but that to this army. And he does discontinue mining there. Look at this. This mine being chased away by some drones, hilariously. Oh, a nice mine drag into that Terran army. The medevac's going to try to boost out of here. Mines being burrowed and unburrowed multiple times. Ooh, mines going for those hits onto the Hydralisks. Going after one of Clem's bases, not a planetary here. And look at that 6 o'clock base being picked off. Okay, so right now, Reynor has like some mineral patches in that bottom right base, and that mid right base seems to be pretty healthy from what I can see on the mini map. But he's losing his entire army. GG is called, and Clem with what I would call a little bit of a comeback victory there. The game was very close for a while. Felt like Reynor was starting to run away with it. Clem stabilized, and then Clem started to punish because the unit set that Reynor was running away with the game with was not really an endgame composition. He was kind of using that very mid-game army with a sprinkle of Hive in it to try to end the game suddenly. And he almost did it. He shut down like 2 bases really quickly. He was getting very far with his push. Clem was losing a lot of groups of units. Beautiful hold, though. Beautifully done. All right, we're going to be going into game 3. It's tied up 1-1. What a series we have right now. Wildly good. Ultras or Broodlord, what is best for late game? It matters the situation, as most things generally do. I personally like Ultras in the late game. I generally like builds that bring you to Ultras. I like Ultras as your first step into Hive. Well, not your first. You always get some Vipers first, obviously, because you don't need to get any upgrades. You just pop them. But I really like the defensive advantage that Ultras give you. Just such a fantastic unit. Okay. Woo! Crazy, crazy game. We're going to be getting into game number 3. We're about to host that right now. Hope that you guys are enjoying. Please follow the channel. I cast this cup every single week with Mapu as the observer. That's why we're actually seeing what's going on, because when I try to observe games, I miss everything. And I drag select too much as well, I've been told. And I zoom out too much as well, I've been told. But it is what it is. Yeah, you can use the command Mapu to follow his stuff. Also, use the command StarCraft 2 to follow the new YouTube channel. It's got StarCraft 2 casts on it, and we'll be having Stormgate and other games such as that. Zero Space, all the cool new RTSs coming out that I'm casting. So, yeah, it was an excellent game, that last one. Let me take a moment, drink some water. One sec. All right. We are making the game. It's going to be Site Delta for map number 3. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying. It is a sick tournament today. Great bracket. Fantastic games. Whew. They were both really good games. The thing is, there's so many different ways that you can open and so many different like unit sets that you can try to go for, right? Terran is a little bit more straightforward, but there are options there, right? Like Clem had the option when he saw Hydra to go mass tanks. Absolutely. He played the mine style, which is more fluid. It kind of fits his style more. But yeah, I don't see anything wrong with what Reynor did. I think it's good in a best of 5 to utilize Lingbane Hydra. It can be an amazing defensive composition. But yeah, anyways, we'll see what he goes for next. And I think Reynor maybe went pee or something. We've been waiting on him for a couple minutes. We've been in the game, and he hasn't responded. But just a moment, guys. I promise we're about to get it going. And here we go. Into game number 3. See who's going to take that advantage. Okay. Here we go. Clem in the top left and Reynor in the bottom right under the Jack Frost ID. Now, what do we see different? Honestly, I don't know. Like, I don't know what they want to do strategically here. There's such a range. As far as Clem goes, he is going for a walled expansion. It might be like the 2 racks, 3 Reaper opener. That was trending really heavily a few months ago. I feel like I haven't seen it as much lately, but it is definitely still a good build. Definitely at least 1 racks with probably Reaper. Hatchery first there for Reynor. And there's the second racks. And we'll see. I mean, you can go 3 racks Reaper for sure. It's a real build. You can just build like Reapers basically nonstop and try to kill your opponent. You know, a beyond special. But as far as like overall quality of builds, I do think that the 2 racks, 3 Reaper opener is very, very good. I'm a big fan of that one. It allows you to get your command center nice and quick. It actually makes the Reaper harassment meaningful. You know, you can definitely get some real damage with that. Your opponent doesn't know. You could be going 3 racks Reaper. You could make more than 3 Reapers. The follow-up can be double command center. It can be factory. It can be more barracks into a marine pressure, right? There's like so many different options that you can do with an opener like this. So again, pretty big fan of it. So a couple Reapers on the way. Right now that is 3 Reapers total. And it looks like with him leaving that SCV there, yeah, the command center gets started. So I think it's just going to be the 3, but we'll see. Sinking gas going up. Oh, no, he is going to go for more than 3. Starts that 4th Reaper. All right, gets in here. Starts putting some damage down. Now, the Reaper shot's definitely worth a little bit more here. Gonna go after this 3rd base. Now, I believe this is just 4 Reaper, but it's possible he canceled one of them as well. I see the 3rd coming. Yeah. So it looks like he did cancel that 4th Reaper. So that thing I got kind of excited about, it's not happening. 3rd command center did get started. He goes into factory here as well. And putting a really fair amount of damage down here so far. This is really, really highly annoying for Reynor. And the fact that he's not really moving any queens out there, he is going to end up canceling this, I think. You don't have time to save it at this point. Just mass drones being made. Not much else to do. You know, Reynor kind of opened up in a semi-greedy way. There hasn't really been any lings made. You know, he's been droning heavily. We'll end up canceling this, losing that drone. So that's highly annoying. Clem absolutely takes the advantage here. Oh! Reactor Cyclone. This is cute. So 3 Reaper Opener into Triple Command Center into Reactor Cyclone. Now, I'm not sure what he's going to get done with the Reactor Cyclone realistically, right? Okay, so he kills the Queen there. He attacks his own Overlord. He kills the Queen there, loses 2 of his Reapers. Now, the thing is, Zergling's speed is going to finish. So if you go across the map with these, I think you're just going to lose them, and Reynor's going to gain a lot of value back, right? I honestly, if I'm looking at this game, I'm not sure if he's going Lings or not. I might look at this game from Clem's point of view and say, oh, this definitely could be Roach, right? In which case, moving the Cyclones across the map is actually very good. But look, there's 18 Lings on the way. And the one Reaper can't figure out what this is. So he's going to come in, and I think we're just going to see these 18 Lings go around and try to get just surround him. See? Yeah, that's exactly what he's going for. It's a really good play because he doesn't even know that he has Zergling speed. So really smart moves here from Reynor. We're going to see if that's going to end up working out. See, he's bringing it way around. There they are. There are 2 Hellions in here, which could mess us up. Oh, that's a sick mine. But he does get a surround on one. I think he's going to get the other one, right? So this was a very good move from Reynor. He kind of hid the fact that he was going Zergling speed, punishes those 2 Cyclones, and this whole pressure needed the Cyclones to bully the Queens to allow the Hellions to help out. Right? So I feel like Reynor's done such a good job shutting things down. He actually brings out more to surround, and he will get 1. He'll get the Reaper and then turn around. He's done a good job keeping Clem off of his back. Obviously, his initial third base got canceled out after a long time, too, when it was like, I don't know, 80% done. So that sucks, and that did put Clem into an advantage, but Clem's follow-up turned out to be very, very weak, I would say. Now, let's take a look where they're at right now. Okay, we have the 3rd Command Center landing, so that's a very quick 3rd Command Center land. But Reynor has 1-1 almost done. He has Lair halfway, Bailey Nest on the way, 4th base coming up. Okay, so this is a pretty good set of things that he's doing. Now, this looks like a Hydra build to me. I think he's going to go Hydralisk Den. It could be Spire, but I don't think it's going to be. We'll see about that in a moment. Now, the double medevac coming over. He has plenty of Queens. He has his 1-1 upgrades. He should be completely fine here. I can't imagine him losing the hatchery or anything like that. Maybe he can kill a few drones, though. Yeah, targets 3 drones down pretty quick. Some targeting of the medevacs there does make this a little bit tricky. Turns around, goes after this hatchery. Oh, maybe. Oh, man. Oh, he tacked his own hatchery there. That is painful. He actually loses it. Not even a cancel. That's pain. That's pain right there. Man. Not what you were looking for as Reynor. Not at all. So 2-2 is started, and it is actually going to be a Spire. That is interesting. I'm excited to see it. I mean, Lingbane Muta against Terran Bio is one of the most fun things to watch, I think, in StarCraft 2. I think a lot of people would agree on that one. A couple mines going down. He has enough. Reynor should be able to hold this without too much trouble. Mine goes off. A lot of transfusions being eaten through here. Not bad. Lingbane coming down. And Reynor holds. As expected there. Another couple of medevacs boosting out. That one going for the main base here. Double medevac draw. Lings do force it up. Oh, he's going to try to micro. Yeah, no, there's not really a whole lot to do. But if he keeps this group of units busy, then this double medevac drop has a bit more potential. He lands it off over here. No drones dying, but he is putting reasonable damage on this hatchery. Uh-oh. That is not good news. That's his new 4th base since the other one kind of got killed off. This is painful. Clem is starting to crush everything, and GG is going to be called. Clem just a little bit too on top of it this game. That was, I think the 3 Reapers just forcing the cancel on the hatchery obviously was really painful. But then killing that 4th, and it's like, oh, God. Reynor definitely had that very good move with the speedlings coming out that Clem wasn't really aware of. He got the surround, picked off some of those mid-game harassment units. So well done there. But Clem is going to go up 2-1. No, Reynor will not 12 pull next game. 12 pull is not a good build. Here we go, guys. Game 4. Clem on match point. We're going to Golden Aura. Here we go. 12 pull isn't a good build? Then, well, explain why I always lose to it. Because you are also not good. When not good meets not good, no one know who win that. That so close game. Wow game. So we have in the bottom right, Liquid Clem. In the top left, Jack Frost, a.k.a. Reynor. All right. What are we going to see this time? Reynor so far having the best success with a defensive Roach opener into Zergling upgrades with some Ravagers into Ultra. That was an excellent game out of him. What do we see here? I don't know. The Lingbane Hydra game was actually a close one. It was a good game. Reynor was a little bit all in at the end and didn't quite get the kill. It's funny to call someone a little bit all in when they're on 88 drones, but kind of was the case. And then that last game, it was the initial 3 Reapers did well, followed by, killing off that 4th base. That's painful, right? You're missing so many larvae at that point. It gets really hard to start holding things, especially when you're doing a Baneling-based defense. Larva count's extremely, extremely important for that type of play. So now we wait. See where these guys want to go. I imagine a Reaper expansion here for Clem. And as for Reynor, we throw that 3rd base down pretty quickly. Obviously, he doesn't know exactly what Clem is up to next. But you're probably not expecting the triple Reaper opener on this map. Not after we just saw it once. We definitely had a period where, like, for instance, Bjorn was doing it basically every game, but haven't seen it as much out of Clem. A good mix in, though. Always good to change your strategies up a little bit. Try to make your opponent uncomfortable. Reaper going to be popping out here, followed by a Marine immediately. I think we'll be seeing a factory quickly here, if I had to guess. And there it is. All right, so the Reaper coming up. SCV already poked in to check, and all the SCV was checking there was that it was a hatchery first. You just check that to make sure that there's not a Link counterattack that'll come in as your Reaper leaves. So a good thing to check. Don't necessarily need to check it every game, but if it's known that you check for it sometimes, it brings down the win percentage of the sneaklings around pool first build quite dramatically. So factory into that 3rd command, definitely something that Clem has been liking. It's kind of cool because that is like Innovation's main #1 build. Reactor Hellion 3rd command center into Starport. That's like Innovation did that like 90% of the time, I want to say. Well, this isn't Reactor Hellion. It is a couple of Cyclones, which is cool too. Obviously a different time without Cyclones when he was doing it, but just cool to see a build like this carry on from the old best Terran versus Zerg player in the world to the new best across generations. Damn, 18 minerals gone. It would be funnier if one of them was a Korean player. So, the Cyclone's coming out. Another Rax on the way. This is an interesting opener, right? Like, is he going 4 Cyclone and more Raxes? So this is going to be like a pretty pressured play. Look at that. Look at that. Double Rax. Cyclones. No starport. Really, really interesting from Clem. Okay, goes after the Overlord. No. Gets to its hiding spot. Goes after that one. He's trying to, like, he's just putting damage out and seeing, like, okay, maybe there'll be a transfuse or something like that. If he can wear anything down right now, it's really, really good. All right, so at least two, yeah, that's 2 Cyclones coming across the map. So he's going to have 4 Cyclones. He's falling with Reactored Hellions. Stim is on the way. He's going to be making bio units. So I feel like what we're seeing here is he's putting on heavy factory pressure. In fact, you might even look at this and be like, are you going mech or something silly like that? But look, he's putting a lot of pressure on. Uh-oh. Sick move from Reynor. Okay, well, that... I liked the idea from Clem, and then you see it surrounded by Lings and blown up in a matter of seconds. And it's like, well, that sucked. You put a lot of money into that. And it did nothing. Well, you cost him a transfuse or something? That's about it. So, you know, Clem is going to just go ahead and land his 3rd command center immediately. I like to see it very aggressively expanding. The starport is coming up. Still roaming a little bit with the Hellions. More of a defensive roam. He's not exactly sure what is out there or how much of it. And honestly, if Reynor made a round of Lings and counterattacked, he would need those Hellions to help clean that up. So 1-1. Pretty much tied up from these both these sides. Reynor's maybe just slightly faster. But that's what you're looking for. If they're that close, the window is so tiny, you're not likely to take significant damage during a time where you're down 2 upgrades. Layer almost halfway done. More medevacs coming out here for Clem. Ooh, a little Ling run by. This is really annoying. This is really annoying for Clem. He's going to minimize damage well, though. Honestly, I thought he was going to lose 5-6 SCVs there easily. But yeah, only ends up getting 3. Okay. Good block. Hellions here to meet those Lings trying to run in. Ling counterattack's a big part of Reynor's play, so kind of expecting a little bit of damage from it at least. More Lings on the way. And what do we have for additional tech here? Because, like... Okay, there it is. There's a Spire. Because, again, guys, if you're going to go only Ling Bane, you need a macro hatchery. Like, you can't just take expansion hatcheries. It doesn't work. Okay, a big attack coming in, and actually the mine hit's doing a great job on these queens. He reduces the transfusion count down substantially there. The double medevac going towards the main base. There are a couple of spores here to kind of force them to be more careful. Lings come up and meet that as well. Mapu knowing nothing was going to happen there, so skips it. But Armory coming up as well as the 2nd factory. Very standard stuff here for Clem. He's really enjoyed this kind of same type of line. His 1-1 going to finish up. His Armory, you know, a little bit late there. It's only about halfway done, so we got another 20 seconds or so before he can start 2-2. Going to let that 2-2 of Reynor get a little bit further ahead. The double spine spore defense being set up by Reynor here on his fringe base. Few Banelings being set up for a little bit of harassment as well. Ooh, nice move. Nice move there with the Banes to clear out those mines as quickly as possible. We'll save that hatchery at least for now. There is another attack coming in. Ooh, excellent. 17 SCVs going down. Reynor has got to be happy with his position after that. Absolutely has to be happy with that. 2-2 almost halfway done, by the way, for Reynor. So this is starting to get, like, kind of substantial how far ahead he's going to be in upgrades. All right, 2-2 just now going to start for Clem. Continuing to rally down that bio. 5th base. Still something Clem wants to work on, it looks like. He's coming around to attack this other 4th base. Another Ling counterattack. Should be able to hold that, but he's not going to be able to save his 5th, right? So the double attack here from Clem doing a great job, right? He brings enough units here that you have to come, and then he's... Oh, he just barely didn't get that. Oh my god, that's at like no health for Reynor. It looked like a really good move from Clem and just barely misses the kill on it, it looks like. Excuse me, the one Marine drop. All right, the lift up and boost out. This is a pretty gross worker disadvantage for Clem. 87 against 42. This is where the mutas are really going to shine. He's going to be able to mass up enough Ling Bane that you have to lift, and then the mutas will kill your medevacs, right? So you have to be really careful now. You have to be very careful. Either you need some mines to really block that chasing. Well, hold on. If he actually gets in here right before the Banes hatch and kill everything, that's a different story altogether. Nah, he will be able to force that up. Looks scary for a moment. Goes right behind those rocks so he can't be followed. Beautiful tactics here from Clem. Using those rocks to block the Banes that were chasing him. Has everything out. But again, that's the type of move we're going to see from Reynor, right? Ling Bane, chase the units, force the lift. Mutas can punish. Now, the mutas are actually flying across the map. So it looks like right now what he wants to do is just kind of hold this push with what he's got at home and try to harass across the map. See, does Clem have turrets? Is Clem doing things like making a Thor? The answer to the Thor is yes. The turrets, maybe not quite ready yet. He gets that one up, but that's a lot of damage that's starting to go down. Meantime, Clem trying to drag in a lot of the Ling Bane. Forcing a lift on that third base. This looks really good for Reynor. I love the lift here. I don't think he has enough units across the map to force a kill on that fourth base of Reynor. And basically, Reynor has Clem down to 2 base right now. Ooh, kind of a big mine hit. We're going to save most of the mutas anyways. And yeah, you can see he's actually bringing his army home to deal with these mutas as well. There's just so little right now. A lot of damage on those mutas. Going to fly them out and regen them for a bit while he tries to retake this 5th base. Thor coming up to join the party. Put some excellent splash damage and ranging down onto those mutalisks. They still need to heal a bit more. This is a big attack. This makes a lot of sense. I think Clem has to basically go all in here because he is so far behind economically speaking. He needs to make something happen. So a Ling counterattack, dude, yeah, Reynor is going to take this game. Clem is in so much trouble. Everything on fire at home. His economy just garbage. 32 SCVs against 83 drones. He's got a good standing army right at this second, but not enough. GG is called before he even loses it. And we are tied up 2-2. Going to game 5. Damn. What a series. We're going to game 5 here, hosting it right now. Yeah, really a fantastic series between these two. I do hope you guys are enjoying. This is a great time to follow my Twitch channel. I cast this cup every single week. We have a lot of great ones. This is might be the best finals that we've had. Obviously, Clem Reynor is always an amazing series. But yeah, follow the channel, subscribe if you would like. It is much appreciated. Right now, I have all notifications on mute so we can just cast. I will play them at the end. And here we go, guys. Getting into game number 5. See who is the champion here. All right. Alcyon is going to be our map. And here we go. In the bottom left, we have Clem. In the top right, we have Reynor. Okay. Woo. Just loving it. Loving this series so far. And we're going to have a forward depot. Okay, a couple ideas about this, guys. So this should probably be the double Rax Reaper opener, right? So like the 3 Reapers, probably. But on this spawn on the left side, if he goes for that Reaper play and loses his Reapers, things could turn bad because his reactor and or tech labs will be on the outside of his wall in, right? So if he loses that map control, there is a possibility that those could get killed off later on. And as people know, if you lose an upgrade like Stim, it's really going to put you back. So just throwing that out there, you know, that's pretty far in the future, but just one of the funny things, you know, they fixed a lot of things from start. Well, fix is a strong word, but they changed a lot of things like quality of life type stuff from StarCraft 1 to StarCraft 2. But the side that add-ons are made on Terran buildings, they did not change. So it's just always the right-hand side. We have absolutely seen games won and lost because of that. Especially when SOS is involved. He's like, oh, you're on that side? I'll just Immortal drop to kill Stim and you'll lose. God, I miss SOS. Anyways, we have the double Rax Reaper coming. See if he goes just 3. That is what we saw previously. Reynor going to be able to scout this, so hopefully we'll not be throwing down that 3rd hatchery too quickly. Yeah, as soon as you see the double Rax, I think he's going to slow that 3rd hatch. You're not going to play it so crazy. And if you are going to make the 3rd hatch, you're going to have to get your queens walking down there much, much faster. Yeah, I would err towards just taking it a little bit later here. All right, gets on top of the drones immediately. Nice save there into a spore. Forces that Reaper back. 2 more Reapers coming. We'll see if he starts another. I don't think he will. Yeah. Right, harassing with these 2 now. Ooh, might get... Ooh, no, not quite. Reynor a bit too fast for him there. Factory and reactor on the way. 3rd command center. More of the same. Zergling speed is on the way. Roach Warren coming up. Okay. Kind of interesting, right? Because the 3rd base, it's just not being taken right now by Reynor. He is walking out with 2 queens. That might be him zoning to get his 3rd hatch up. Because you definitely have to start thinking about that. Like, there's not a good 2-base Zergling speed Roach all in. Not really. Not with 2 Reapers out on the map. You're not gonna find any damage with a dumb build like that. So, like, I think what we're seeing here, yeah, look, he's trying to relay some creep, trying to get into a position where he's just kind of zoning those Reapers. He is making 5 Roaches. He is making some Lings. Hey, maybe that dumb attack I talked about will actually occur. We'll see as this Overlord finishes. 12 Lings. Jesus. Okay. We're going for it. We are going for it. Okay, so basically the Lings are going to have to deal with the Cyclones because the Cyclones will mangle the Roaches. So Reynor's going to go for it. He is cheesing. I don't think it's going to work, right? This is a good scout from Clem. Clem can pull back now. Put your Cyclones behind your wall. Yeah, get a few on your way out. Just kill a few Lings here and there. Ravagers being made very smartly. Tons of Lings being made by Reynor. Bunker going up. Now, those add-ons are going to die, like I talked about before. But honestly, this is so all-in that it's not as much about Stim finishing. I'm surprised he's out here with these units. Honestly, I feel like just going behind the wall would be the only thing I want to do right now. So I feel like if Lings just get up there like that, oh my God. Oh, he's wiggling them back so hard. He actually, well, he does end up losing them, but not only to the surround. Okay, the Biles come down. They end Stim. Another Cyclone falls. Another Cyclone falls. Will this attack actually end up working? Not entirely sure. You know, the losing of the Cyclones, I'm really surprised at how far out he tried to zone, because again, I feel like that was the only way this could screw up. Imagine if he had, right now, he would have 5 Cyclones. Look at the Zerg army. Would you care about that army at all with 5 Cyclones right now? He barely cares about it as is. So, yeah, I feel like he was being so greedy trying to defend Stim, and that's why he was walking out. He's trying to zone everything from his wall, when realistically, like, you lose a little bit and you're just like, yeah, you're on 2 base and I have way better units right now. So I do feel like this was a bit of a mistake here from Clem. But in comes the push once again. Gonna end that Stim once again. SCV's coming out to repair. Yeah, picking off Lings is not that useful for this. If he can get some of these Ravagers, a bunch of them are super low. All right, gets one right there. Great pickup, great pickup. Bile's going down. Oh my God, the bunker just barely lives there. Absolute insanity. Look at this. He has to keep his Marines on the front line against these Lings so they don't get the surface area required to kill him. Might pull back into this bunker. The double bunker now should be able to hold, and Reynor, he's still trying to break through. Okay, he breaks that bunker. There's not that many units left. A siege tank pops out. The siege tank could be pretty deadly here. Gonna lift up in that medevac and start microing. He's gonna try to target down some of these hurt Ravagers. I love the idea. Woo. The Bile's going down, trying to catch this medevac, trying to get lucky here. Reynor, though, continues to rally down. He has that third hatch. He's still sitting on 32 workers. Combat shields get started. Says, well, combat shields is a lot quicker. Maybe we can get that if we can't have Stim. Okay, second siege tank is out. Gonna pick that up as well. All right, sieging one pretty far back. Sieging the other one pretty far back. Bile's coming down. Oh, almost gets the tank, almost gets the tank. The tank blows up. There is one tank left over, though. The Ravager's coming in with these Lings. And that's going to be it. GG. The Zerg Rush does not end up winning. And Clem going to take down the tournament with a 3-2 victory here in the finals over Reynor. Not surprised with that final strategy being pulled by Reynor. It's a tough one to make work. Clem, I feel like Clem almost gave it to him with the Cyclones going out, but still was able to hold. Let's take a look at that final bracket, by the way. Clem over Reynor, over Parting, over Hero, over Pig even. Wow, what a killer. But a great tournament, as you can see. Look at this round of 16. Clem, Pig, Creator, Hero, Beyond, Gerald, Rare, Parting, Cure, Foxer, Berry Crunch, Reynor, Max Specs, Trigger, Epic, Dark. You know who every one of those people is. Pretty sick. Reynor, of course, had a good run as well. Over Dark, over Cure, over Berry Crunch even. NA Terran God. Wow.